Welcome to the fundamental update for March 8, 2026. Now, a lot of interesting updates happened last week, and if you're following the channel, you know I drop fundamental updates every single weekend, explaining what happened in the previous week and what we should be expecting this week. Now, last week played out just as I predicted, the news played out just as I predicted, but the currencies were in different direction, and I'm here to explain that, right? I remember saying that dollar was going to be bearish. Either way, dollar was going to be bearish due to the uncertainty we had in the air, but dollar actually came out bullish. I'll be explaining what happened. Also, I said gold was going to be bullish, but all of a sudden gold gave us a bullish rise starting on Monday and sold massively. Now, that's one thing about fundamentals. The news changes. Just like I said, the news changes, right? So I can give you a fundamental update on Sunday, and then on Monday or Tuesday something else will happen, right? And I always try my possible best to keep my students up to date. Sometimes I keep my community up to date. So if you're not in the community, if you're not in the Telegram channel, if you don't have my WhatsApp contact, just make sure to save it and stay tuned to my updates, right? You'll find my Telegram channel. You find the link to my Telegram channel in the description below, and also my WhatsApp contact in the description below. So make sure to just click on it and save it, and make sure to be checking out the updates and be dropping on my WhatsApp status. You can ask me your questions too as well. So let's go straight into what happened. Now we can see that Euro USD, because what I'm looking at currently is Euro USD. You can see that Euro USD sold massively, right? Now what happened? Dollar became bullish, not because of the, well, I'll say it's because of the economic uncertainty, but there was a specific reason why dollar became bullish, and also gold became a little bit range or bearish. Will I say bearish? Because gold started Monday like this with this bullish spike. This was how gold started on Monday, and then all of a sudden and throughout the week gold gave us a very huge drop. What happened? Now I want you to understand that the economic uncertainty is just what we're talking about, is simply war. US and Israel have come together to fight against Iran, and due to this it affected the supply of oil, commodity. Now let me explain this. Supply disruption leads to most currencies becoming bearish and most currencies becoming bullish. What do I mean? Let us look at oil, right? So you're going to learn something new today. Let's look at oil. This is the US oil, and you can see the bullish spike on oil. Now whenever there's a supply disruption, what does that mean? It simply means the level at which oil was supplied, usually used to be supplied, was disrupted, was limited. So due to this, oil price increased, because when a lot of people are buying oil and they can't get that oil, they start looking for other means to get it, and in the process people who sell oil will start increasing the price of oil. Why? Because there are a lot of buyers, but the oil supply is limited. Do you understand? So the price of oil skyrocketed like to the sky. You can see this was a huge bullish rise in the oil, in US oil, right? Now what did this do to currencies? It affected dollar positively. Why? Because dollar is an exchange currency for buying oil. That's why it's called the US oil. Whenever someone wants to buy oil, they exchange whatever currency they are using to dollar. So dollar started rising in value too, as well as oil started rising in value, and this was due to the war. The war against Iran affected the oil supply. You understand? And due to this, oil was limited, and most economy needs oil. Economies like the Japan, they need oil. You understand? Economy like the GBP, they need oil. Economy like the euro, they need oil. And what do? They buy from the US, and since they're buying from the US, they need to exchange their currency to the dollar. Do you understand? And due to this, dollar started rising in value. So the reason why dollar became bullish was because of oil supply went to the sky. It increased inflation in dollar, currency. Increase in price of dollar started affecting dollar, and then investors had to run to go and start buying DXY. And that was why we saw DXY rose all the way to the top, to this particular level this week. Why? Because investors left the fact that they're supposed to be trading gold during risks of it, during risks of sentiment, they're supposed to be trading gold during risks of uncertainty, right? But gold now was not their focus anymore. Dollar was their focus because oil was increasing in price, which was leading to dollar to rise in value due to the fact that when people want to buy oil, they exchange it, they use dollar, the dollar currency to buy oil. I'm trying to say this in a very understandable way. That's why you see I'm picking my words. I don't want to use macroeconomic term for you all, because if I use macroeconomic term, you all will not understand it. Well, speaking of macroeconomics, how do I know about this? A lot of people don't know about this, right? It's simple. You have to understand how the fundamental works. What do? I learned macroeconomics over 2 years now. I have 2 years experience in macroeconomics, and for those who are interested in knowing more, this is the price of the training. Is a 6 months training, and we're going to be offering you a lot of intensive premium offers, right? So you can see we're also going to be giving you macroeconomics outlook. We're going to be helping you understand all these things, right? Things like this wouldn't confuse you. These are all the trades I took based on macroeconomics. So trust me, fundamentals are moving the market. You learn how to trade gold, you learn how to trade BTC. You kill a lot of bird with just one stone by learning macroeconomics, because you can also apply this in the stock market, in the crypto market, and also in forex market. So for those who want to know the price in naira, it's actually 60,000 naira. You can see it's $43, so that's 60,000 naira. But this price is the discount price. It will be ending soon, because the main price is actually 250k. Yes, 250k, because macroeconomics is not something that is easy to teach. It's not something that is everywhere. You understand? So let's go back to what we were talking about. So I hope you all understood the fact that when oil is rising, dollar itself will be rising. Because why? Dollar is an exchange currency for oil. If oil is doing well, the US economy will start doing well, because inflation will be rising. Investors now started buying dollar due to the fact that dollar was doing well, and they left gold because gold was the focus for risks of, right? But they now left gold because of the way oil was rising. Everybody ran away from gold, and that was why we saw on Monday gold gave us a huge rise due to the uncertainty, and then on Tuesday gold gave us a dump due to the fact that all investors are now leaving gold to run to dollar. They're now investing their money on dollar. Do you understand? So that was why gold gave us this huge dump on Tuesday, right? This is the 4 hours time frame, so it's not looking huge. But if you go over to the lower time frame, this is a huge dump on gold. You understand? So that was just simply what happened. I hope I've explained this in a very, very understandable way for you. Exactly. So now that is simply what happened last week. How did this affect other currency? USD JPY was bullish. Why? Because JPY is an economy that depends on oil. So for the fact that they depended on oil, JPY was now bearish. Due to the fact that oil price have increased, so they have to be buying oil price at a very high price. Dollar is affected positively from oil increase, so that was why dollar against the JPY, dollar was rising massively. I think other currencies against the JPY was doing well, right? Let's look at AUD JPY. AUD against JPY was doing well. Now for AUD economy, I'll simply explain to you that AUD economy is still expecting a rate hike, right? Due to this, normally when we are having economic uncertainty, AUD usually weak. AUD is a risk-on currency. Risk-on currencies are currencies that does well when there is no war, when there is nothing bad happening in the economy. So since there was war, AUD started Monday with a huge bearish spike to the downside. But due to the fact that nobody really cared about risk-on currencies again, or risk-off, because they now cared about oil rising, the fact that oil is rising, AUD now started picking up strength again, based on the fact that the RBA, that's the Reserve Bank of Australia, they are seeing reasons to keep hiking interest rate on AUD. So that was why AUD gained back this strength, right? Now I know what you all have been wanting to hear is, what should we be expecting for this week? What should we be expecting for this week? Now I want you to understand that gold is not going to keep selling forever. Gold will actually start buying. I don't know when, but once this oil disruption saga stops, gold will be buying massively, because investors will run back to gold for safety during times of war, and that is what will cause gold to be bullish to the sky. You understand? And dollar, we are not expecting any rate cut on dollar anymore, So dollar might keep on picking strength due to the uncertainty, but I'm not really sure. I'll just tell you what you should be expecting for this week. So before then, let us look at our economic calendar and know the news that are on the air, even though it's not really important, because what is important is the economic uncertainty that is going on. But I want you to look at gold. Gold is currently at the key level, right? And it's reacting to that key level. So very soon gold is going to pick up. And if gold pick up, trust me, it's going to be buying massively because of this war. If it should continue and oil price gets to a leveling, right? Oil price gets to a leveling, gold will actually start buying massively. I'll give you a secret on how to check that, right? On how to know when to start buying gold. Yes, stay tuned. I'll give you a secret to know when to start buying gold. This is something I learned in my 2 years of macroeconomics. Whenever war like this happens, this is how you know when it's best to start buying gold or other risks of commodity like silver and the rest. So let's go over to the economic calendar first before we come to that. So the economic calendar for this week, let us look at what we had last week. First of all, we had NFP, but I told you that NFP market did not really care about all those things. Why? Because market was focused on the war, and NFP came out lower than expected, which was bad for dollar, right? NFP came out lower than expected, but it was bad for dollar. But you can see dollar kept on being bullish. Do you understand? Dollar kept on being bullish. Why? Because investors are not really focusing on all these things. These things that doesn't matter whenever there is war. All these things doesn't matter whenever there is war. You understand? So these are minor things that might move the market. But yes, the speech is still matter. You understand? The speech Trump gave on the war still matters. The speech AUD gave on their rate cut decision still mattered. So all these things, they will still matter. So that's why you need to still stay ahead of all these things, right? Just yesterday, which was Saturday, I gave out a lesson on pre-trading checklist. One of the pre-trading checklists I told you is to know your news and events that is going to be happening. So this is the best way to know it, by checking out the fundamental updates I drop every single week. So the core CPI, that is what is going to happen on Wednesday. That is a very, very important news. Stay up to date because inflation is already rising. So if this comes out positive, dollar will keep buying. But if it comes out negative, it might not really affect dollar if oil is still rising. Do you understand? So that is just simply it. That's the only important news I know we have for this week. Also, if you're a big fan of GBP, which is this, on Thursday we're going to be having, Belly speaks. You understand? So it's very important because whatever the governor say might actually affect the economy or the currency. Do you understand? So that is another important news. For now, I don't think there's any other important one. Let's go back to the secret to know when to start buying gold and start staying away from some risks on currencies like the AUD, right? So now we already know where the problem is coming from. Gold sold because oil is what? Oil is rising, right? Exactly. Now you should already know what to do. Since gold sold because oil is rising, so what you do is go to your trading view and search up US oil. When you search up US oil, right, in your trading view, search up US oil. Now be looking at US oil. Do you understand? Be looking at US oil. Once you have to understand that this thing has already risen so much. So I don't know if it will keep rising. I'm not sure if it will keep rising. But any news now they give on this US oil, I'll keep my students updated. That one is for sure. I'm not really sure about the commodity, the community, for those who are just following me. But you see my students, I will keep them updated. That's for sure. So if you're a student of mine, you have no problem. I'm going to tell you when to start buying gold, when it's best to start buying gold. But you see that oil is actually rising drastically, right? So this is the 4 hours time frame. I want you to understand that once you start seeing a little bit of reaction like this, right, price start going all the way down, that's the best time to actually start buying gold. Do you understand? Because it means that focus is no more on oil. Do you get? Focus is no more on oil. Oil price is no longer rising drastically. So oil price is now dropping. So if you see something like this, it means okay, gold is now good to start buying because the investors will start focusing on gold. But also remember, the only reason why gold will buy drastically is due to the war that is going on. If there's no more war happening and oil is dropping, I would suggest you should calm down and observe gold first of all. Do you understand? Calm down and observe gold because gold might not buy if there's no war. Do you get? Now we know the reason why dollar is rising because of the oil itself too as well, because oil price is rising drastically. So I will not say you should go and start buying Euro USD at this key level. No. I would say, matter of fact, dollar might even keep being bullish, because the next time we're expecting a rate cut might be September this year, which is very far. So just follow the technicals. If technicals are telling you to sell Euro USD, follow the technicals, right? Sell Euro USD, keep buying dollar till you see a change of character in the technicals. But remember, I'll keep my students updated. So that is just simply it. If you want to be a student of mine, you know what to do. Just text me up so that you have all this privilege. I don't like, limiting things for people who are watching it, but obviously I have to give the difference between students and just people who are following my community. Do you understand? That's the privilege my students have. So that is it for now. USD might actually keep being bullish. AUD might actually keep being bullish. Dollar might keep being bullish due to the fact that oil price is still rising. Gold might not buy immediately, but gold will still buy. Definitely gold will still buy. That is it. I think I've given all the fundamental updates for all the currencies I'm looking at. You understand? Let's look at GBP AUD. GBP AUD actually gave us a little bit of bullish rise, but I'm not sure this bullish rise will last for long, because AUD is still picking up strength. You understand? I wanted to even buy this currency, but it took me out. But AUD is still picking up strength. AUD is still picking up strength. So I don't know if the GBP AUD bullish rise will last forever. But just know that if gold start buying, AUD will start becoming weak, because it means that the risk off is now in the air, and investors are now focusing on risk off commodities. So AUD is a risk on currency. Remember, risk on currency, which means it might not do well if gold start buying. So once gold start buying, be careful about AUD. AUD might start becoming weak. You understand? So there's no need looking at the chart, since my network wants to mess me up. We can call it a day for this. In case you have any question for today, you can ask me. For this Sunday, you can ask me. You can give me your chart analysis too as well. I'll help you analyze it. After this Sunday, the only people I'll be doing that for are my students. So for now, have a lovely trading week ahead. It's going to be a profitable one. In case you have any questions, make sure to ask me for today. And also, click on the link in the description so that you can join my Telegram channel. You can have my WhatsApp contacts, and also you can register for the macroeconomics class in case you are interested. See you all.